we ended up having a 300% of inflation. And then you destabilize the security. See? So there, the opposition of Allende had the perfect alibi how to start a coup d'etat. What happened 11th of September of 1973? In the morning, we have the President Salvador Allende being threatened by Augusto Pinochet, the leader of the army, saying, if you don't leave the charge, we're going to take care of business. And by that, he meant militaries with machine guns, tanks, and airplanes waiting for the order. What happened? The President Salvador Allende didn't escape or went to exile. He decided to give a really long speech in a national radio station, and about 3 or 4 a.m. he was found dead. It depends on which side of the history you are, if he committed suicide or did he kill himself. The military said he was found next to a gun, so they said they committed suicide. A couple of years ago appeared a picture of him being slaughtered with a machine gun. It might be Photoshop or it can be real. Who knows? Okay, so we know what happened, some of the reasons why it happened. You know that you have more layers of information, but I'm making a long story short. Okay, what happened afterwards? The militaries took over, and they had two things that they had to fix in Chile: security and the economy. They started by security. They established the 6-year martial law that went on and off from 1973 until 1990. All right? So you couldn't leave your houses after 6 p.m. A lot of people were killed, tortured, exiled, or put in prison for political reasons, and not even. If you were working in any industry in the country, you are going to have really bad luck. And even people were prosecuted, even people, say left-wing party politicians died even in Argentina and even the United States. So that was the idea of the militaries, to recover the security. So about 24,000 Chileans died in the process. And there's a lot of people that went missing. But that is a topic that you're going to hear more in the tour. Okay, the years went on, but the militaries had no clue how to recover our broken economy. Therefore, they ranked the states, and the reply was that bring your best economy students. We have Milton Friedman that can teach them a couple of tricks. That's how the so-called Chicago boys returned to Chile with the idea that neoliberalism was the answer for our broken economy. Little by little, slow but steady, the economy started to recover. And yes, a lot of parts of the country started to become private. So things were improving. You know the price. Okay, then in 1980, the current constitution of Chile was made. No citizen was asked, and was written by 12 militaries that were influenced by the same people that were behind this coup d'etat. That is the same constitution that still is ruling our country. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm going to talk about it later on. Okay, so security was recovering, economy, we had a new constitution, but then how did we return to democracy?
Excuse me, Andy Cooper, el cobre.
¿Sí?
¿Qué sucedió con el tema del cobre que había sido por parte de Allende nacionalizado luego del golpe de Estado en el periodo siguiente hasta la fecha?
Okay, the question was, that's a good thing. What happened with the copper? We used to have a manufacturer of copper, so all industries in Chile disappeared. And then what happened is that copper started to become privatized. For example, nowadays we have BHP Billiton, we have Anglo American. So instead of being manufactured in Chile, the military said, let's bring transnational companies to the country. So that's what, long story short.
Down about 16 and 14, 20.
¿De qué cosa?
Porcentaje de 20% más o menos disminuyó la pertenencia del cobre a Chile en este periodo.
Oh yeah, from 51% that we Chileans own the mineral, the copper, it went from 51 to 17. It's a good fact. Thank you. All right. Yeah, it's okay. Hit me.
I still am not clear how did the actual boundaries of Chile get made? I mean, why Why
Okay.
is it so long and narrow? I
Okay,
mean,
good
it
question.
Doesn't necessarily have to be that way. I mean,
No,
why
okay. Our boundaries in between Argentina, it's easier because the highest peak of the Andes work as a natural boundary. The Patagonia used to be all Chilean, but let's go back to the 1800s. Throughout the history of Chile, we have had two battles, two wars, in fact. First one, Peruvian and Bolivian Confederation. We were fighting for the lands in the north of Chile. So that's how we solved the borders in the north. But then the most important out of the two battles, we have the Peruvian and Bolivian Confederation, was the second one, the Battle of the Pacific, 1879. Where nowadays we have the port of Antofagasta. The Bolivians used to have the exit to the ocean side. But guess what? The English were helping us to mine our copper, and they were also involved mining the Bolivian part. So what happened? The English said, you know what? It's more convenient for us, the English, if that belonged to Chile. There were a couple of reasons, say, that the Bolivians were raising the interest, the taxes, but there was a black glove behind this whole issue. Long story short, Chile ended up invading Antofagasta, and it happened the Bolivians were on a 4-day holiday. So there weren't as many soldiers or people protecting. So when they returned, they realized that they have lost the exit to the ocean side. They request help to Peru again, but at the end, Chile won. And around that time, and then, well, that's how the borders in the north were solved. But then, help me out with this one, Sebastian. When were the Patagonia was split?
That was in 1903.
1903. Most of the Patagonia, if not all, let's say most, used to belong to Chile. But then in 1903, it was split in Argentinian and Chilean side.
I have a different story, but yes.
Yes. And then more so before the Falkland Island battle.
1978.
1978.
Yes, because that between Argentina and Chile, we are having one of the longest borders in the world. It's over 5,000 kilometers. And we settled the border in 1903. We were agreed, especially in Patagonia, but with more than 2,000 kilometers long, there are a few mistakes in favor of one country or the other country. So until today, we are having some things to fix. A few mountains are not so high like we thought 100 years ago, and that kind of things. So we have to fix that kind of things. And one of the conflicts was in 1978 that almost we had a war between Chile and Argentina that never happened, thanks God. But that was 4 years before the war that we had, the Argentinians, I'm Argentinian, against England for the islands.
Yes. Answer solved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
it's just an unusual shape.
No,
Yeah.
great. Sí, dígame.
La pregunta es porque también se conjuga el hecho que los pueblos originarios, que estamos hablando de los mapuches o en el fondo los araucanos para los españoles, mapuche, en Argentina y en Chile es la misma zona, entonces para ellos es una zona y eso está apoyado en este minuto también, digamos, de alguna manera
Sí, por parte argentina y chilena también.
y de Inglaterra, porque en Inglaterra están las oficinas de los mapuches en su tema.
Lo que
Ustedes
pasa es que
van a ver ese tema,
claro,
sí.
ese tema lo vamos a ver, pues yo estoy viajando con ellos, lo vamos a ver un poquito más adelante.
Ya, perfecto.
Lo vemos en Bariloche y en Puerto Vara.
She was just asking, she just wanted to know about, say, remember the Mapuches? They mostly live in the south part of Chile, but they also used to be in Argentinian side. So, but that is a topic that you're going to go in further detail in the next weeks.
Yes, I'm telling her that we are going to meet a Mapuche lady in Bariloche. We have a talk, a testimony there, and we are going to be talking about Mapuches in the Chile area too. So this is because they were here in FAD and they were going to Patagonia too, and we are going to have that topic in Patagonia part.
Yes. Okay. Now going back to
Okay, sorry.
how. No, it's all good. Great. I love when people are enthusiastic about it. Let's go back. How did the democracy return to Chile? The same people that influenced the constitution needed a democratic country to work with. Okay? Therefore, they asked the Chilean population if they wanted Augusto Pinochet if Chilean population wanted Augusto Pinochet to be 6 more years in the charge, if the answer was no, the democracy has to return in 1 year. The no won by a small difference, but then Chile returned to democracy in 1990. Since then, Chile is considered to be one of the strongest economies in South America, with Brazilian one. But you know that everything goes further than that. Let's go back to, say, nowadays the way that Chileans live. After the coup d'etat, say yes, you can study for free in primary and high school, but then the level, the quality of the education is way different. I come from a generation that I studied 5 years in university, and I might end up paying the loan for 15 or 20 years. See? Similar story to the United States. How about healthcare? If you have money, you better go to a private healthcare system. For example, I can get a surgery. I can get a surgery for free, but if it's not very urgent, I can be waiting for more than 1 year. Okay. So more similarities. Also, how about pension system? Our pension system was an idea of the Chicago boys that runs by the stock market. How much is the average pension of a Chilean a month? Say about, and this is being really optimistic, $400 a month. As if. Try living with that amount of money in a country which cost of living is really high. So when people talk about the macroeconomy, they say, wow, they're doing great. When you go through microeconomy, it's more complicated. For example, average wage of a Chilean a year, around 12,000 US dollars a year, see? But still, if you're smart and you're a hard worker, you can make your way up, see? Try doing that with the wages of neighbor countries. Then again, for example, how about security-wise? We don't have any terrorism. Gun ownership, it's not a common thing in Chile. It's not popular at all. So then again, there are a lot of things that are working. There are other things that we have to fix, but we're on it. So it's up to newer generations to make a change. So if you ask me if I'm happy with my country, I'd say yes. So that's how we arrived to this part of the history. I'm going to talk about economy, but then when we keep on going. Okay, every Thursday, we have a demonstration, a protest of an historic debt that the Chilean government has with teachers, and that takes place every Thursday, and they come here in order to protest. An historic debt that the government promised some money that they were going to be given, and it hasn't been given. Okay. Okay. Statues. Okay, there are a couple of statues. We have 3 statues that represent the 3 main parties of Chile, and then we have other ones. The one to the left is Eduardo Frei Montalvo.